some for me, freshly taken from banana tree. Banana man me want it done. Give me double and a bonus one. Give me more for all me friends. This banana flow will never end. Do you want a banana? Peel it down and go Do you want a banana? This banana for you. Tonight we dance around the flame. Then we get to play the spirit game. Spirit names we shout out loud. Shake the thunder from the spirit cloud. All the songbirds in the tree chant a tune to let the spirits free. Then we see them in the night. Spirits jumping by the firelight. Do you want a banana? Peel it down. Do you want a banana? This banana for you. Ho, ho, ho! Look you're too uptight, you know. You could laugh and kick it back and go, but without a rhythm or a rhyme, you do not banana all the time. Fly away from city on the run. Try to make a little fun. Look, you come to the bungalow. After that you tell me don't you so. Don't you love the bumping of the drum? Make it shake until the bongo numb. Let the bongo play you till you drop. This banana never stop. Forget all your troubles and go with the flow. Forget about whatever you may never know. Like whether whatever you're doing is whatever you should, and whether anything you do is ever anything good. And then forget about banana when it's sticking your throat, and when they make you wanna bellow but you're stuck in a choke. And then forget about the yellow from the colorful man, and if you take another one and make a mark of your plan. Bungalow, make up your mind and tell me no.
Well, it's 9 o'clock and it's getting dark and the sun is falling from the sky. I've never left so early and you may wonder why.
Hello everyone, my name is Notepad and I write games for fun. So what are we working on today? Today we're going to be working on Project Grug yet again, and this will most likely probably about an 80% chance being the last episode of this, and I forgot to change the title, so I'm going to change it now because I am dumb. Grugs. There we go. Traveling Grugs go a roving on. And so, if we go all the way down, we only really have to do one last section. That's Beyond the Horizon with Grugs. But what did I do last night? So, we had all this. I added some pictures just to clean things up, make things pretty nice. And I also added the food system. The food system's pretty simple to understand. Pretty much, you have your food quality, how much dopamine you heal from it, and the amount of servings each individual piece does. I also have a few notes on it, such as, hey, grug meat is cannibalism, and everyone kind of doesn't like that. You know, predator meat's not really good for you, but you get a lot of it. Prey meat's really good for you, but yeah, you only get 4 servings of it. Wild fruits, nuts, vegetables. And you also have the various water types. But if you go down here, you can also make cooking. You need create a fire, 10 short sticks, fire source, or ATN 15 into check/fire starter, and you can cook food. Pretty much cooked meat reduces the servings by half, but improves the food quality by 1. So it makes that prey meat worth 7, but you only get 2 bits of it. While something like a vegetable soup, if you put all these vegetables together, you get plus 2 servings. So let's say we put some fruits and vegetables together. You get 9 with 2 servings, but it turns into 10 with 2 additional servings. So you have 10 with 4 servings, which is very, very good. But the problem is you need a bowl for that. Salads allow you to combine things. Pretty much this allows you to combine various things together to get more out of it. And here's the big note on, like, hey, crafting, make things, have fun with it. You know, it's, as I put here, make things, create things, screw up, set it on fire, cry that your creation is on fire, kill a big thing and use its head as a new method to craft the new thing, have fun. The entire idea is to embrace the insanity of being cavemen, glorified caveman scientists that will probably kill themselves trying to perform Grug science. But today we're going to be working on the final bit of this. And then let me take a good old alcohol. Let me actually snap my... Okay then. That's my shoulder. Fun story. My mother didn't actually believe me when I said my shoulder snaps sometimes until I did it in front of her, and she cringed audibly as I effectively almost broke my back, according to her. So let's see. Okay, that's where it should be. And this is going to be a fairly simple section. Not going too deep into the mechanics, just Beyond the Horizon with Grug. And heading 1. Grug is part of a greater community. Actually, a greater ecosystem and greater community. As they explore, exploit, and deal with their neighbors, Grugs will eventually be improving their own small community, as well as exploring the great world around them. This world contains many threats and dangers and problems, but also great, but also treasures and useful materials that to allow the Grugs to build themselves a brighter future. Alright, we're going to start with let's start with community. The Grug community. The Grugs community is their social life and the members of their immediate family. While the others may not possess the same spark as the player Grugs, they are still at the same moments of development for the future. With a little guidance and a bit of investment, even the weakest communities can rise to the top of the food chain and dominate their foes. The community is judged by its, let me see, what did I end up calling it? Community. Judged by its community value, CV. Which judges the community and its advancements. Judges the community by its advancements. By its advancements and resources, inviting additional members to their small community for greater resources. Inviting additional members to their small community to thrive together. On the other hand, if a player Grug were to pass away, they can pass the torch to one of their fellow community members, reducing the CV of the greater community. CV is gained by having improvements, and manipulating the environment. Actually, no, not manipulating the environment. Being in an advantageous nest. No, nest isn't a home. Home synonym. Accommodate. Okay, yeah. Accommodation, we'll go with that. And being in accommodations and manipulating local resources. CV is lost, however, by my being in a poor location, struggling with food, and generally being on the back foot in conflicts. Effectively, what this means is, if you are doing well, if you have a good location, you have plenty of food, things are going well, you're going to get more people. More people you have, more things you can get done. However, if things start going poorly, you're going to start hemorrhaging resources, and people are eventually going to leave, because again, your community is kind of crap. And so, that's the kind of the push and pull there. And being on, actually, I should move generally. I like putting generally in things. I think it helps me more than anything. And being on the back foot. Conflicts. A starting Grug community starts at CV5. With a handful of members who are able to work in addition to a few that are unable to or unwilling to, due to age or injury, perhaps. Alright. Now I'm going to paste this right here. Heading to is there food chain accommodations advantageous. And next I get to build a chart, because God bless spreadsheets. And we're going to call this the community value. Actually, we're community value and addition. Perk. Let's call it community improvement. And what's our major community improvements? If I bring up my handy list here. Let's see, pass away. CV is gain, having improvements. Okay. Bonfire, community value is 1. Resources, fire starter, and 50 small sticks. 25 large sticks. Actually, and 25 large sticks. I should say also put as upkeep. 10 small sticks. Simple shelter. Community value 3. Resources. CV times 5 hide. Actually, we'll do with 50 hide. 100 binding. Actually, and 100 binding. Upkeep. 5 hides and 20 bindings. Actually, no, we'll do 5 hides, 5 bindings, just to keep things up and running. Community gathering point. 2. actually, simple shelters will be community gathering locate. Actually, community gathering point. Totem. Would be a good one. Oh, I know. 6 logs. 6 logs, binding, and binding. And binding 24. Upkeep, binding 24. Actually, 24 binding. Actually, no, let's do 12 binding. It's literally like a makeshift thing that you've built. Culture, ancestor totem. Ancestor totem. 2, 4 logs. 12 bones. 10 hides. And we'll call it 25 teeth. And what we need is, here is 10 bones, just to keep everything updated. Ancestor Humankind Odyssey, home camp. What do you call that? Home. Which settlement? Okay, settlements. Come on, give me something. Sleep spot. Insert outside current settlements. Okay. Alright, so that helps me exactly none. Cool. Or some other useful little additions. Oh, communal food station. We'll call it 10 large sticks. 20 binding. And 10 sticky. Upkeep 10. We'll call it 2 large sticks. And we will use these as our initial improvements. Come on, come on. I know you can do this. Come on, come. Yeah. Google Sheet, please. Table properties. Black 7.5, middle, center. There we go. simple community improvements. Actually, most likely, actually, Notepad made a goof. Because what I should do is hit data create filter A to Z, copy this, and then post it. So everything actually works the way it's supposed to, which is a novel concept. There we go. Boom, baby. Community improvements. And then we're going to go make homes. Data turn off filter, community improve. Actually, what we're going to call it is a community home. Community home. Community value. Upkeep. Actually, do we need upkeep? No. Lush open. In rainforest. What I should do for all these is that lush open rainforest, community value 0. Many trees, easy to avoid predators. And then we're going to have wide open field, community value 0, no trees, but the starry sky, craggy hills, yeah, craggy hills, community value -1. Many hidey holes in other rocky terrain. Snowy, actually, freezing tundra, -2, very cold, requires, warmth to stay alive. Lakeside, 1, easy access into fishies and water. Actually, I should say riverside. Be gone, phone. Ooh, that's something. Actually, let's check world biomes. Let's a thick forest, 2, easy to climb, easy to hide, and easier to get lost. There we go. let's see. Oh. Murky swamp. 0. Actually, we're going to do -1. Plenty marshy and difficult to navigate. But few predators. Overgrown. Overgrown. Actually. Oh, arid grassland. 0. Lots of open space. Open spaces. Open spaces for the community and predators. Let's see, okay. We got enough basic communities. What are some other... Should I add in fantastic communities? Half of me kind of wants to, the other half of me doesn't. Actually, yeah, what? Overgrown, overgrown suburbia. 2. The ruin. The old world are filled with potential and danger. Yeah, what's some other good ones? Oh, Oceanside. We'll actually call that negative. Yeah, we'll call that a 0. On one side, the open sea. The other infinite possibilities. No. Data, create filter. Paste unlinked. Actually, none. Black. Table alignment. We'll actually keep it left. Murky swamp. Freezing tundra. And we'll slap an image right there. And what I'll actually do is I'll make another one, which will be community defense. What I can actually do as well is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and V. Insert row below. Makeshift palisade. Actually, makeshift defenses. Community value 4. And we're going to need 12 logs and 12 times, we'll call it 336 binding. 12 large sticks. And 20 sticky. Upkeep, 2 large sticks. Let's see, narrow choke point. Open space. High ground. underground cave system. Treetops. Landmark, significant landmark. Water source. Actually, near water source. And we'll give if it's a narrow choke point, it's going to have a community value of 2. If it's an open space, it's going to have -1. High ground is going to have 1. Underground is going to have -1. Cave system is going to be 0. Treetops is going to be 1. Significant landmark is going to be 3. Near water source is going to be 2. Easy to defend and easy to access. Easy to defend and access for friendlies. Open space, wide open for everyone. Able to see the enemy before they see you. Underground, deep below the earth, deep below the ground, with little light and less space. Cave system. An open cave for storage or defense. Actually, an open cave for storage, storage, rest, or defense. Treetops. In the Grug's natural habitat. High in the sky. Next to a major distinguishable landmark that defines the area. Your water source. Grugs need water to survive, and water they have. Alright, we're actually going to extend this out like this, so this should, theoretically, at least unlinked. Ooh, this is going to be a little bit. Can I increase... community value, shrink you down a little bit. There we go. And I completely forgot to do this again. There we go. We'll slap a picture right there. Technically, I should set these all to archivo, because I forgot to do that. Black, obviously, we'll do central alignment, middle. perfect. Actually, not perfect in the slightest, but I can at least delude myself to think it's working. Actually, can I bump this up to 12? Let's check. Absolutely not. I cannot bump it up to 12. Ugh. Unless I put it on a separate page, but I don't really want to put it on a separate page. Okay. And what we're going to do is resource piles. A pile is a large group of a large quantity of a harvestable resource that the Grugs have access to. These are mostly basic resources that allow the construction of additional projects or large food sources that will increase that sustains the Grugs. That sustains the community and its subsequent growth. To use a pile, what I should say is the player Grugs dedicate parts of their CV to each individual tile. Each individual pile they have discovered and secured. The amount of CV needed to harvest the resource is 1. Actually, what I should say is 1 plus distance CV for one of the resource every upkeep. Multiple CV can be dedicated to individual piles. Actually, what I should say, footnote. Not increasing the distance CV required, but instead just increasing the base amount to harvest more of the resource per upkeep. So let's say is plus one half distance CV. So if it's 6 away, you need 3 CV. Actually, yeah, let's do 1/3 CV. Yeah, 1/3 CV works, I think. Hello, Peppermint 2. I also do not know hello me here. This is a Christian stream. Thank you very much. Also now you get to do the fun part where I snap my back into place. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that hurt, but that felt good. That this is a Christian stream. Here, give me 1 second. I can do this too because it's my stream. I can do whatever the fuck I want on it. So the next project, unfortunately, is not going to be what I planned on because someone is going to be possibly paying me money to write them a game. But I don't know about you, but this says pretty much a Christmas stream, Christian stream, if I say so myself. I mean, look at that. Look how Christianized this is. We're good Christian boys and girls here. Thank you very much. We're not some of those godless hippies. Alright, so let's see. If I can click on literally every single thing except what I need to. But instead just increasing the base amount to harvest the more resource per upkeep. So, resource pile. Okay, there we go. Actually, I should say, for every unique pile manipulated by the community, increase the CV by 1. So, you may not be getting the amount of resources, but obviously, various Grugs and Grugettes are going to notice, like, oh, hey, these guys are obviously working on stuff, we should totally join them. And they're going to keep working on stuff, and you're going to have to feed them. Food. Well, never mind, I should put upkeep. Let's see, upkeep. At the start of every season, the community needs to pay its upkeep. Every CV that requires 1 unit of food. Actually, every CV requires ½ unit of food. And all improvements need to have their upkeep costs kept. Failure to do such reduces CV by that amount, by the deficit. Okay, actually, let's failure to feed the community will result in the deficit of Grugs dying, and failure to upkeep improvements will send them into disrepair. Failure not being able to upkeep the second time. Second time has the improvement be destroyed permanently. Destroyed until rebuilt. As a side note, community Grugs are not stupid. If they are not working, they will find their own food if it is readily available. Being in the desert will result in famine if not prepared correctly. So what does this mean? What this means is that people will feed themselves if they're not working. So that initial one, you'd be like, oh, wow, I'm going to have to pay all this food to, make sure my people actually don't die. If you're literally doing nothing with them, they're going to feed themselves. They're going to be fine. You don't have to worry about them. It's when you dedicate that one guy to go somewhere else, you have to feed him somehow. And that means you're going to need to get food. If you have a lot of food coming in, you can have stockpiles of it. Once you have stockpiles of food, you're able to dedicate more people to do things or just get additional CV. That's kind of the benefit. Actually, what I should say is 1/2, half or third. I want to do third distance CV. I don't think. And we'll slap a picture right there. And traversal across the primal world. Travel across the primal world. Heading 2. Now, I am going to take the completely cheap way out of this, Project Inchling, because I already wrote a system like this that I'm kind of working for already, so I can probably just steal Project Inchling stuff pretty easy. Let's see, actually. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select everything here. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to select every single thing here. Control C, go to Project Grug. New, not sheet. I don't need a sheet. I need... No, I don't need a folder. I need doc. Yes, give me a doc. And we're just going to redo this. So, this is why we double check things, kids. Traveling the primal world. Grug is a grug. Is a curious soul, always willing to venture beyond their community's boundaries to discover, learn, and exploit the world they are just learning about. The world in this primal state is a hostile one, dedicated to its own survival and maintaining the natural status quo of predator prey. A world where Grugs are not predators by any stretch of the imagination. Imagination. Ugh. Alright, wander over yonder. I have stamina, which is... Okay, this entire section is going to need... The Grugs have dopamine. Actually, what I'm going to do... The Grugs have dopamine, which is their natural ability to not be tired and push themselves beyond their limits. Dopamine can be expended to explore new locations, secure piles for exploitation by the community. Technically, it's a capital community, and ward off threats that the world throws at the curious band. Well, let's see. To keep track of dopamine among all of the Grugs as a unified band. Add together all of the dopamine of the traveling band and divide it among by the number of the group. So, footnote, a group of 4 Grugs with 21, 24, 20, and 22 dopamine have a band dopamine of math. I usually don't like throwing in this kind of like dividing, and I actually don't like throwing in dividing in general, usually, just because people get really... Dividing's like that one thing that nobody likes to deal with, and a second it comes up in any capacity, everyone immediately goes, no, bad. So, let's see, divide by 4. Have a dopamine of 22. 21.75 rounded up. Hopefully that does just make a good average of everyone's, rather than just like wildly exploiting it in one direction or the other. Let's see. I forgot. Project actually had daily depression again for just being on the road and being a miserable sack of shit. Well, actually, what I should say is wander toward that distant dawn. Stimulate when the Grug's dopamine is fully expended and they wish to recover, they must take a rest, hunkering down on location until they are fit to travel again. The group roll. What would be a... Actually, it would be, okay, actually, the group leader rolls a SPI check with grunting. Actually, what would be the best skill in this situation? The spine leadership. Yeah, it would be leadership. One of them. With leadership, SPI plus LDS. The group leader rolls an SPI plus LDS check. Let's see, I should say plus equipment. Check 2. And restores that much of the group's dopamine. For the next bit of travel. And what we can do is we're going to take this away. Characters can also willingly consume food stuff to naturally increase their dopamine levels of the group. if a actually a grug Grugs can also, if a grug has severely, okay, actually, in situations, capturing locations, and the grug's expending dopamine. Dopamine to overcome it. Alternatively, they can use only part or no dopamine. Dopamine and suffer the consequences. The primal wild. Groups do not wish to abstract travel. Adopt a hex crawl map. Roughly speaking, each hex is roughly. What would be the average hex crawl size? Average hex crawl hex size. It's also pitch black. Okay, 6 miles. About 6 miles. Yeah, that works. So we're looking at, if this is 6 miles, that means 6 miles to kilometers, which is going to be 9 point. Actually, let's 10 kilometers. If I can actually click on the right damn thing. Roughly 10 kilometers, or actually I should say about 6 miles. Each hex takes a day to travel fully, spending the dopamine for the associated hex terrain. Each hex may have a unique feature attached to it, such as a landmark or an outpost, such as a landmark or a community. If there's no unique feature, the hex is filled with the natural fauna of the area. Sprawls of land may have difficult and problems associated, so a river would be difficult to cross without a boat or fallen log to serve as good cover. Or a bridge. Boat or a net. Actually, without a natural bridge. Or a destroyed, or a rough rock, or a rough terrain. It may be hard on the grug's naked feet. Journey, oh Jesus. Alright, so let's see. The Grug Master. Well, outside the community, the Grug will be confronted with journey challenges of either random assess or the Grugs taking challenges to assist in their journey, random events. Grug Master, group challenges, random hazards, simply opportune moments of loot. Dopamine. Replace with Grug Master. Replace all. Boom. What I should say is stamina. Dopamine. Place. Is this elegant? Abso-goddamn-lutely not. But it works. Yeah, INT versus the terrain difficulty. On a success, the group uses no dopamine. If it moves down, to fail, the group uses 2 dopamine. Hunt for baubles. They roll INS versus the difficulty terrain. And on a success, they gain intuition equal. They gain shinies. They gain actually resources. They gain basic resources. Basic resources in association with the terrain. Hunt for food and supplies. Rolls. Do we have bod? Oh, it'd be muck versus terrain difficulty on ox. That gains their choice. Actually, what? Gather choice of vegetables, nuts, or fruits. Equal to there. What's good? Equal to their smelling skill. SML. Smell or sight. Is it SIT? Yeah, sit. I'm in wounds. We want to do the character. Instead, it's going to be called the Grug. The Grug. Who do you play Saul? Mend wounds? Ha! Absolutely not. Traveling Sonic be gone. Actually, we don't need treat illness. So there we go. A much reduced amount. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of these. Select everything there. We're going to go all the way to the bottom. And obviously we're going to delete the Ryutama one because Ryutama is not what we're going for here. We're going for monkey time. Because we're just chimping around. Get it? Get it? Please laugh. I'm begging you. They have my family hostage. Project Inchling. Give me the terrain differences. Oh, God. Random events, traveling chat, conditions and problems. There we go. Best part is, I can just use this wholesale. Hell yeah. Except I just have to change all the Project Grug. Give me that. It's what I do. Easy do, easy say. Pop pop open beer number 2. Or did I call it my inspiration juice? That reminds me, I gotta hit this button. I don't know why it suddenly decided, like, everything must be gray. I'm like, no, stop that, please. I beg of you. Please, don't make anything gray. Oh, God. Black. And we're looking at preface. There we go. 25. Actually, we'll bump it up to 150. So, average hard, 25, nearly impossible. Okay. Oh, constant worry for Grugs. The primal Earth's weather is a fickle beast. Control is a fickle beast. Not being able to hunt down lightning, hunt down the cracks of lightning, wish away the fog, or escape the cold rains. A Grug must survive what is thrown at them. What is thrown at them? When traveling, the elements are a constant threat. Threat to the Grugs. Grug's mission of survival and effort. Grug's mission of survival. There are 5 states the Grugs can be in. Dopamine. They are not properly insulated. Clothing or other warm things. Warmth 6 or higher. Actually, well, I should say warmth 10 or higher. They'll take -5 dopamine every day they are on the road. Hazardous. Grugs. Grugs are in a cold climate. The Grugs take -2 lethal damage. Are in a downpour, all dopamine. Dopamine expenditures are doubled in the rain. They'll lose. They'll lose -2 dopamine every day they are out in the rain. Sweltering. They require 2 rations. They'll require a unit of water every day to stay hydrated. Hydrated. If they fail at that, they'll take -2 lethal damage. And -2 blunt damage every day. Yeah, being in sweltering heat sucks. Various stream types. Dopamine cost. Okay, so we want difficult. So that will be... So, actually, we'll call that. Let's make this hard at 20. Desert's going to be very hard at 25. Easy is 10. Difficult is 9, so that'll be average at 15. Hard, which will be, we'll just call it hard at 20. Hard at 20. Actually, we'll call that actually average at only 15 because the jungle is kind of your natural habitat. Easy, going to be 10. Complex, we'll call that hard, actually. And wasteland, nearly impossible. Okay, stamina to cross, dopamine to cross, replace all. Oop. Dopamine to cross, space, replace all. Boom. Perfect for Grugs. Due to lush vegetation and easy to access resources. What I'm also going to say is piles, stones, bones. Desert, piles, obsidian. Grassland, piles, none. Actually, food stuff. What I should say is fruits, vegetables, nuts. Piles, wood. Highlands. It's the Highlands. Stomping Hills have a fair amount of resources for every species in the primal world. Piles, stones, mostly. Meats, bones, and what else am I thinking of? Bones and nuts. Piles, vines, vines, wood, vegetables, and fruits. Fruits and nuts. The Highlands. Scotland. It's like you don't live in Scotland. Wood. Wood and fruits. Piles. Vines. Where's some good? Yep. Swamp, bamboo. Actually, what I should also put wood, sap, fruits, and fruits, swamp, vines, vegetables, fruits, wasteland, piles, obsidian, and stone. Bump that up. Well, I should put common piles here so the GM doesn't look at it and be like, my god, I can only put wood in the light wood zone? Oh no. And it's like, no, you can't put anything you really want in it, but this is what's most commonly here. Yeah, you like your blunt 3, blunt 2, sticky 2, shiny ones. You need more shinies. However, whatever will we do if we do not have shinies? Actually, what I should do is bump hide up to 3. It leaves up a 1. There we go. Alright, I think we're pretty good here. And what I'm going to do now is what I'm going to call it Foes of the Primal World. Actually, Grug dies to terrible non-Grug entities. Being the bottom of the food chain. Food chain makes a Grug's life difficult. There will always be a being or creature that will think it's bigger, therefore mightier. It's also usually right. Except when the Grugs play it smart, act smart, and don't fight things they can't beat. Oh, that feels good. Non-Grug Actually, I'm gonna make it a big, fluffy, big tooth monster. Big fluffy, big tooth monster. The BFBTM. BFBTM is one of the scarier entities that Grugs encounter. Much larger and more intimidating than the average Grug in a plethora of senses. When encountering such a monster, the best course of action is to flee or lure it into a deadly trap. Because I don't want to necessarily say whatever the hell this thing is. It's a giant saber-toothed cat, but Grugs are stupid. That's the entire point. So, it's going to have, a doll to be a big, fluffy, big tooth monster. INS, it's going to have a 6N. Intuition, it's going to have 0. Muck is going to have an 8. Reflexes, it's going to have a 9. Spine, it is going to have a 7. And its skills, it's going to have hearing 3, actually HEA 3, SIT 3, SML 3. Oh, well, what I can do it's going to have int skills at 3, muck skills at 3, reflex skills at 2, spine skills at 4, and its main weapon is going to be its big teeth, which are going to be if we scroll further down, actually I should calculate what everything is first. Its its lethal health is going to be 18, blunt is going to be 28, dopamine it's going to be 27. This thing is incredibly scary, because it's about twice as strong as an average Grug. What I should actually do is do intuition 2. And let's see, we need to go all the way right here. It's going to be melee. Lethal. Actually, what's sharp? It's going to be melee, sharp, blunt. 6. Big claws. Melee, sharp 4. Blunt 2. Yeah, the big fluffy tooth monster is not very friendly. Big scary Grug. The big scary Grug is a distant cousin of Grug kind. While they appear to be similar, their larger build and far stupider approach to things Make them a potent threat. Threat to Grug kind. And we're going to select everything here. Big scary. We're going to make the big scary Grug. I'm only going to have like 2, 3. Instinct's going to be 3. Intuition's going to be 4. Muscle's going to be 6. Reflex is going to be 7, 6. Let's do 6. And spine's going to be 4 because they're a lot stupider. Intuition's going to be higher. Muscle's going to be a bit higher. Reflex is going to be lower. And their spine's going to be lower as well. So that means with 10, that means they have 16 lethal, 26 there, and 24 dopamine. And their main weapons are big strong hands, which they just do muck. Which they do muck blunt damage. Melee muck blunt damage. What I should actually do is bump that up. Actually, let's do 6. It's going to muck +2 blunt damage. So they do about 8 blunt damage by just clubbing you to death with their hands. There we go. Melee 8 blunt damage. Alright, so I'm only going to put 2 enemies in because I'm incredibly lazy and I usually don't like doing enemies. I just want to give people an example of how they actually are built. Below are 2 examples that are more designed to that are more in place to allow Grug Masters to create the enemies they wish. Each enemy has a base stat array. Which is a base attribute array, which they also possess a series of skills that are added to every roll to simplify things. However, they still operate the same as Grugs do in regards to their health, and the roll and keep system. That reminds me, I need to actually put it in a encounter. That's the French way of saying it. Fine. Big claws, then big teeth. Jeez. All right. What I should actually put is, after this, food, stuff, and cooking, Beyond the Horizon with Grug. The new Grug. The new Grug. Because I usually put in. You don't believe French? Well, no one believes the French. The new Grug. As the Grug advances in their abilities and skills, they will eventually pick up new ones and grow as a Grug. Every time a Grug crafts an object, they gain experience points, EXP, equal to the rank being crafted. A Grug requires 5 times the next rank of an attribute to a Grug requires 5 times the next. Actually, they gain experience points equal to the rank being crafts an object. They gain experience points in that attribute equal to the rank it is. As they amass EXP, they can spend it at the end of the season. To improve skills and the attribute of the crafting in question. And let's see, so if we want to increase attribute by 1, it's going to require EXP equal, it's going to require 5 times current rank in crafting EXP. 5 times current rank EXP, increase skill by 1. 3 times current rank EXP. A Grug can use any EXP to increase their instinct. Instincts or health pools. Actually, what I should say, if a Grug were to pass away, their EXP is lost. The next Grug the player chooses starts at 0 EXP and everything. A little bit hardcore, but I want people to feel encouraged. I want you to get invested in your individual as they build things and improve themselves. But to improve yourself, you need to go out there and get resources. To get resources, you need to really kind of throw yourself out to the wolves and hope for the best. So there's always that risk reward. And the thing is, fighting doesn't give you experience points. Only really crafting things does. So we want to increase health and health pool by, actually increase lethal health by, actually increase health by 2. It's going to type 10 EXP. Increase any health by 2. Actually, we're going to call that Yeah, 10 XP. Athletics. Alright, so... Actually, I'm going to close out of this. And roll all the way back up. I told you this game was going to be about crafting. And I'm going to slap a picture right there and then Beyond the Horizon. Alright. So, do that. We're going to have to fix some stuff up, but it's going to be like 5 minutes of me going through things. So, looking here. Coming in at 7,359 words, we are done with Project Grug. Now, Grug was an interesting beast for a few reasons. That's my beautiful co-host, by the way, my squeaky-ass chair. It's also pitch black in my room right now, so... kind of ominous, but hey, that's what I do. But Project Grug was kind of an interesting beast in a few aspects. I think the biggest thing was, how do you make a... Well, there's 3 big things with this game. The first major one was... Hi, phone, what do you need? Are you telling me about something important, or are you going to tell me... No. Remind me later. Oh, it's that dude again. Oh, Jesus, it's this dude again. Okay. No, the fact that I can't... the only thing illuminating my entire area right now is my computer screen. It looks pretty fucking ominous, not gonna lie. TBH, family, I'm a ding-dong. But the 3 big things about Project Grug that were hard to do was, 1... the theme was a bit more complicated than I thought originally. Because I'm like, haha, monkey. Monkey people go monkey, ha ha ha. This is going to be simple, right? No. Oh, Jesus Christ, no. It's, you don't realize... Actually, I realize why Ancestors, A Humankind Odyssey was kind of shit on for it not being a lot to do in there. Because at the end of the day, you are playing something a little bit bigger. Yeah, and you have to worry a little bit more. You're not quite fully human yet, nor are you quite monkey yet. So you have to, there's this weird end point where you're in the middle. I kind of adapted it more to be like you are like proto-human Neanderthal tier, but you're also, it's very odd with this one, just because you have so much little stuff to worry about. I think the second hardest part was that there's a reason people don't deal with crafting at all, because crafting, there's a lot of little things that go into it. You can either abstract it to hell and back, or you make it really nitty-gritty, and I had to go for the nitty-gritty one, and even that kind of just melted my brain a little bit. It was like, oh, sweet Christ almighty. It was one thing you go on, and then it just keeps like, okay, well, how do we factor this in? How do we factor this in? And just again, just dealing with everything and being so beyond, like, so behind on the technological scale really screwed some things up. I think the final biggest issue with this game in general was, for all its, like, theming and stuff, it was really a veneer at the end of the day. I really didn't commit so, like, hardcore 100% to the, you know, monkey RPG aspect, but none of the project I was really going to be working on, none of the 3 potential Grug projects really were going to be that, I would say, entirely unique. There's a reason the entire final half of this project is just stolen wholesale from Inchling. Because this, I went into this project saying this is going to be the crafting RPG, and there's no real good way of doing that. And the Grug theme came after the idea. So it had its own issues, but I feel that 7,000-ish words, I think it worked pretty well. Again, it's not the most flawless product, nor is it my, absolute worst. But I feel that it serves its purpose, and I have a new appreciation for crafting RPGs and the lack thereof, and fuck crafting in general. Though if I were to do anything with this game in general, where did it? When I played around with the roll and keep system quite a bit, and the roll and keep system turned out to be a lot better than I thought, so I might actually use that in general for later projects. That might get adapted later on. May or may not. I don't quite know how I want to do it in future projects, but I do enjoy it. Where were you as well? Oh yeah, I also expanded the idea of space distance, because I actually read it as a thing on fucking Reddit of all goddamn things, where a guy was like, oh, well, here's how I do zones, and like these are the only space band, range bands you need. And he had a really interesting idea when it came to these, which I'm probably going to adapt for weapons in future, and for future projects. Because the idea was like, oh, well, 0 is you're face to face, you're intimate with them, you're like either you're giving them a hug or you're right in their face. Touch is something I can reach out my hand and touch them. Melee is me holding a weapon up and stabbing them. Reach is like a spear, something like a long weapon. Close is like a sling, far is a bow, very far is kind of like a compound bow, and insight means I can't really hit them with anything, but I can definitely see them and they can see me. So, I think space distance in general, that system needed something like that, and that kind of just snapped that into place real well there, and I think that's that'll probably be useful later on. Most definitely, but overall, I'm pretty happy with the Grug project. Again, not flawless, not perfect, but most likely what will happen is next year, as I did at the start of the end of days in March, what I did was I went back to all my old projects and started fixing them up. So most likely next year, around March probably, I'll go back to all these old projects, these projects I did this year, and rip and tear them through and just say, oh, hey, this was awful when I did here, or hey, I really enjoyed this, or hey, let's fix this up. Just giving it a fresh pair of eyes, a new look at things. But with the Grug project done, we move on to our potential next projects. So, hello, Project Dirt Block, otherwise known as the Grug project. Can I? No, I don't. I want to delete. I want to delete you dramatically. God fucking damn it! Let me delete you dramatically. There we go. You are DONE. Let's select everything here. God damn it, Miro, please. I love you so much, but you hurt me. So, actually, I should delete all this shit, too. So, next we have up is one of two projects. We either have Project Deep Sea, which is going to be based on, I'm going to mispronounce this horribly, Wandanohara and the Great Blue Sea, which is an RPG Maker game. Came out 7 years ago. Jesus. But yeah, it came out a couple years ago. And it is very odd for a few reasons. I did some investigations into it. Yes, it's actually a very cutesy game, all set in this, here, actually, I'll close this out, I don't need this anymore. All set in this universe called the Okagam, or whatever, written by one, I think it's a girl, named Deep Sea Prisoner. And then it's like this whole very large cast of characters that do a lot of very interesting things. It starts off this fairly cutesy, happy-go-lucky adventure, and then there's like this very sinister undertone in the second half. I had to do a lot of investigation on this fucking game to get everything right, which proved to be a yeah, well, that's actually an incredibly valid question, because you get some weird things like, let's see, Wanda Hara, age, how old is she? Okay, no, that's when the game came out. She's not actually 7. I was like, Nani? Nani? Yeah, I know, the game is 7 years old, not her. I think she's a teenager. I believe so. And, no. Oh, this is gonna make me feel real fucking sad. Yeah, I'll leave that there as I describe some more of this. Wanda Hara is actually a fairly interesting setting. It's very, I think the best way to describe it is whimsical. Very fantasy, very ups and downs, and everyone's like happy. There's like witches that are encapsulate very specific things, like this, like she is the sea witch, but there's a witch of eyes, there's the pitch black witch, and there's the gore witch. Because the other really fucked up thing is, and Peppermintu, you actually know this person. It's Knight who actually who wanted this done as a commission, actually. And I had to go on a deep exploration of some of the weirder aspects of the setting. And age is really weird, like, what's your full name? They're from the Game Finder server. What do you go? Night WR0019. That one. But yeah, no, it's a fascinating setting. There's a lot of little weird aspects of it, mostly because the actual creator is a very odd duck, and again, it's the oh sweet Jesus, what's the word of say? It's I would say Urobuchiism. Very cutesy, very nice, but always have that sinister undertone to things. A lot of gore in their works, actually. Like, people get fucked up pretty fucking badly, and also, they like pulling the sexual assault card, hence why I think Naya recommended it to me, and would be willing to pay me money to do it. Generally speaking, I'm not going to touch that with a 20-foot fucking pole. Look at the animal people and smile. One of the other issues that I keep looking at There's no clear definition of what the fuck a familiar is. It's just an animal person who is bound in service to a witch. So that's going to be kind of an interesting aspect to worry about because Wandahara and Samikichi. There we go. So here's Samikichi. He's a shark boy, shark man, shark person. He can actually turn into a shark as well. How does that work? I don't fucking know. That's definitely a thing that occurs, though. I wonder if I can find Cherry Bowl. See, it's weird, because you end up with, let me actually bring up Wandahara and the Great Blue Sea, Cherry Blood. So, here's Cherry Blood. Cherry Blood he is a shrimp, and he is Lobco's father. Here's Lobco. Now, Lobco is a familiar to another character, the Pitch Black Witch. Chomaki, yeah, that's this one. Chomaki. Now, the amusing thing is, Cherry Bold here, who is a former fish gangster, and fun fact about him, he fucks a lobster. That's just a lobster that you talk to. It's one of those things like, can she turn in, like, can Dolaz, the literal fucking lobster, turn into a human hybrid? And how did she give birth to this? How did she give birth to this? How does this work? And I'm like, oh, it's only familiars. Only familiars. If you enter the contract with a familiar as a familiar, cool, you turn into it. Makes sense. Made a mistake there. It doesn't work that way. Here's Pulmo. She's a barrel jellyfish. Is a humanoid barrel jellyfish. She isn't bound to anyone. She's just a random fucking character who exists. Let's see. Let's see who other ones definitely exist and make me have a fucking stroke. Here's a Tanuki. Alright, makes sense. It isn't bound to anyone. She's just a humanoid Tanuki. Let's see. Ah, yes. Here's Memoka. She is a humanoid seagull. But it's like they can also turn into animals normally, I guess. I guess that's a thing that occurs, that they can just turn into animals. Because, like right here, she can turn into a seagull. But here's like that, but they also as a note, this is them at a couple hundred years old. This is hundreds of years later, mind you, hundreds, because fuck you and the horse you rode in on. Fish princess. She's definitely a fish princess. Oh. Mm-hmm. like witches are their own independent like species. Like there's no humans. Like it's a very odd setting, and I know how to do it. It's just the prospect of doing it. If that falls through, which God I hope not, because Daddy Notepad needs his fucking alcohol. I'm going to be working on Project Eros. Project Eros is the ultimate hentai doujin RPG that doesn't need to exist. And fun fact about this. I've asked people this a few times already, and the key answer I keep getting is completely distracting, which signals to me either people do not know or people don't want to know. So I digress when I say I really don't quite know how to approach this. I know how I want to do it. I know how to do it. And I can do all that. I just don't know what's the best approach to it. On one hand, I'm almost done with this. On one hand, I can go down the this is a porn game, Lamau, look at porn logic everywhere kind of idea. However, I can also go down this is the idea of this is a visual novel game. This is a game about really overdramatic characters being very overdramatic at each other and fucking. That's it. It's the idea of porn logic is built into the game rather than with no set. It would be a toolbox system, definitely. To play out games that are akin to a visual novel, otherwise known as very, I wouldn't say choice-based, but lot shorter than a traditional campaign. You're resolving everything in like 5-10 sessions max. And the idea is that you're taking a character who doesn't really change all that much, who might get some slight increases here, slight decreases there, through this story until they reach the end, at which point it's over. Do I want to put in some competitive aspect to it? Maybe. I don't know yet, though. Because it's still in that kind of weird, pseudo, kind of works, kind of doesn't phase. I need to play around with it some more. I need to get some ideas fielded. But it's the idea is in my head. The concept is there. It's just doing it. It just needs that. It needs the little umph. I don't know if I want to make rants or I want to make Steins Gate. Like, there's a very different approach to both of those. But I don't know yet. But I'm going to continue working with Knight. Hopefully they give me the A-OK to march forward so I get paid. But overall, Grug is done. That reminds me. Things Notepad wants to do, things. Project Grug. Blink. There we go. And also some of the stupid title cards I made. Because I like stupid title cards. Oh, I'm getting a message from someone. Who is it? Off-topic comfy corner. Yeah, pretty much. You speak the true. But ideas be ideas. If anyone has suggestions, I'll always field them from people. What I should do is get the list of the next few projects sorted out, because I had a list of 3. The current schedule. Make with Grug done, I get to kind of work on whatever this, however this pans out. It sounds like Knight wants a D20 game, so I'm like, okay, I can work with a D20. But I'm going to be working with them. Hopefully things actually pan out. Total Biscuit's fucking dead still. Yeah. Likes Gucci. I'm Gucci. Hey, it's that or the porn games, say la vie. A little bit of A, a little bit of B. Anyway, look at it, I'm going to be dealing with lollies. So, and as I told another person in another Discord server, I am not above anything. If someone wants to pay me money to make the most degenerate RPG possible, $60 plus whatever weird shit you want in. You tell me, I will put it in. Because I have no morals at all. There's just no morals here. Pay me money and I'll write whatever you want. Seriously. And I've effectively said at this point, I'm willing to do anything. I will write it. It's funny you say that, because I was fully waiting. I want him. I've been waiting for him to arrive. Because I want to make the one and only Wonder Bread RPG. I am the man. You may not look like it, but this is what peak tabletop designer performance looks like. I'll become the Shad Man of tabletop RPGs. That's the best part. I mean, like, is there anything more sacred? No. Nothing is sacred. The only thing sacred is my bank account. I do it for the money. Let's check Twitter. Hello, Twitter. Hi, Don Rudo. Hi, Suntarai-chan. What the fuck, Maxor? Maxor. Stop being a degenerate. Yeah, I'm out. Yeah, nope. Hippity hoppity, nopity, nope. Hey, when the money starts rolling... give me 1 second. Someone's asking me for my stream. Why not? I have no sense of right or wrong. Yeah, no, it's here's the best thing on the tweeters. Here I am. Here's my writing commissions things. I have like no personality really. I just talk about my own shit really. If you do not follow Don Rudo, you are fundamentally not in the political sphere as much as you should be. Let's see what other weird shit I follow. A lot of YouTubers, because I've lost all sense of right or wrong. I don't even really like anything. The only thing I like is when Stormforger, shows up. I can't show that. No, Centauri-chan, no. Hippity hoppity TOS, no. Yeah, call it 3.5 years of political science and a BS in it. Like it's you get used to it. TOS violate. The worst part is I knew it. I knew it was going to be there. And I still clicked on it. I still fucking clicked on it. Like a fucking mongoloid. Because I'm a dumbass. 'Tis a fool I am. 'Tis a fool. I am going sicko mode. I don't mean to. But here we are, making poor life choices. Let's see. Poor life choices, poor life choices. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm Gucci. Guccitronics Rex. But yeah, future projects. Here we go. Also, things Notepad wants to do. It's been a while since I've gone over that, so I may as well do it now. Obviously, we have Project Arrows. Now, I also have Into the Badlands. Into the Badlands was a show I really enjoyed. The ending was fucking terrible, but all endings of any TV show that goes on that long are usually fucking terrible. So I want to make my own. Mostly when the Mystic Magic bullshit, apocalypse shit happened. Project Speed, I want to make the racing game. I might just remake the F-Zero RPG. Not copyrighted World of Darkness, Dark Knights and Terrible Monsters. Excuse me, Mom. Beats I go bump in the net trying to deal with being a horrifying abomination of God and to make rent this month. Monster Heroes. Fantasy Mecha game. I already have actually the notes for that done. Which oh geez, Rick. Which I actually asked Mecha Mondays for help on the wonderful world of Project Golem, and they through some terse notes I did go with the giant knight mecha with the mecha pendragon. Project Summoner may get reworked into another project, but the idea is like, hey, we don't usually see summons in RPGs, so hell, let's do that. I actually got, someone said, CA is Caps a RPG, and I said no, but I wanted to do it. I had an idea for it. Crisis Averted President Saved is a line from a really shitty sci-fi original movie. It was the ending line, and it was just this very dramatic, FBI agent turning around and being like, "Crisis averted, President saved," in the most, drugged out, dumbass way you physically could in a sci-fi movie. Oh, geez, we actually have more people. Hello, everyone. I decided going to be making a tongue-in-cheek spy game using it. Just very dumb, very silly. Because I know when next April rolls around, I'm going to have to do... I know next April I'm going to do the April Fool's Day of Operationally Challenged... it's Operationally Challenged and Tactically Incompetent. Which is going to be Ops and Tactics, the parody RPG based on McNamara's 100,000. Which I'm going to piss Smellin off. I'm going to piss Sweet Soul Bro off to no fucking end, and it's going to be great. It's going... This is what I live for. I live for it. I live for this. Let's see. The God Fix Me mess. Actually, I can make Tabletop Online go away. So, Exalted Litany of Creation literally just needs a full rewrite. Because it's trash garbage and I hate it. I've decided to take the idea of Exalted Litany of Creation and do it a little bit differently. My core idea behind it... who are you? Hello, Sleepwalks. My core idea behind the project of Exalted, the Litany of Creation, is to make Exalted for morons. Very simple math, very simple ideas, just trying to get across to people to make high-powered high-powered RPG for babies who do baby things and don't know how to play actual games. Let's see. Sexy men posing dramatically. Sexy men posing dramatically is my JoJo game. Yeah, that was the idea for Litany of Creation. Make it very simple, very easy, just to do high-powered shenanigans for fun. I tried to make it like, I'm going to make Exalted 2, except better, Lamau. But I think just redoing it from the ground up would be better at best. SMPD is the JoJo game, which works somewhat. Any JoJo game is kind of a pain in the ass to do in more ways than one. But I think it had potential, and I think that's kind of the idea behind it, why I think I enjoyed it so much, is that it works for what it does, but not much else. What I was actually debating on doing is merging SMPD and Project Summoner together to make those one game. Or just change it entirely from Ojisan to Ojisan Demon Slayer Corporation. What the hell did you just type there? No, said the? No, said the? No, I hate that. I hate everything you just typed there. But the Ojisan Demon Slayer Corporation, the idea behind that was actually a little bit funny, because there were a set of threads on TG for a while, which was, like, you have 5 minutes to pitch a game. Or write out the mechanics for Bethesda. I'm going to release the exact same game every time. You're going to like it. You're going to make Skyrim 3. But the idea behind Oji-san Demon Slayer Corporation was one of these 5-minute RPGs. Actually, I wonder if I can find it again. I have it somewhere. Google Drive. Project folder dies. Dead Project ER. It's not there. 5-minute RPGs. Oof. Is it in Things and Stuff? It's probably gonna be in Things and Stuff. No, it's not in Things and Stuff. Fuck. 5-minute RPGs. There we go. I wonder if I can find the Demon Slayer Corporation. Okay, there we go. Yeah, here we go. I had just watched, it was Kimetsu no Yaiba, the Demon Slayer, whatever the fuck. Lolly wife go lolly. The entire idea behind it was that you are a bunch of old fucks and you are just trying to kill demons, but you're way past your prime. That was the joke behind it. The idea behind the Oji-san Demon Slayer Corporation was that instead of leveling up, you level down with time. You just get worse at things because your age kind of starts catching up with you, including your own personal demon that follows you around. But the idea is that you are stupid powerful, but everyone just wants you to retire. But that was kind of the idea there. I might just use that and just change SMPD entirely. Let's see some other weird ones. That's never quite saw the light. Oh yeah, the Notepad Tabletop universe. After consulting some people, I decided to pursue, as I call it, the Toku RPG of my dreams. So be prepared for Rider Kicks, the game, and you're going to enjoy it. So yeah, that's people wanted a good Toku RPG. So I'm like, you know what, screw it. I'm gonna make the good old fashioned Kamen Rider RPG, because there was one going on for a while on TG that guy existed for a while, and then he just burnt out, I think. He was there and then whoosh, gone. Very odd. and I'm going to see if I can't find his stuff and just see what I can crib from him. But it was he did Pax Cybertronia. He did a few other games. It was Pax Cybertronia, the Dragon Ball game, Dragon Adventures or something. And then he did the Bonkles one, the Bionicles. The really cool one that kind of worked and kind of... Masks of Destiny, that was it. And they all used the same system, weirdly enough. I was very curious of how it actually was like going to work, but just... One day he was there, and the next day he wasn't. Let's see. Social Justice Warrior Turtles is going to actually be remade into Project Era / Good Christian Values, the RPG. So I could probably move that away, but I'm going to actually do a deep dive on that. Probably, most likely on Monday is when I'm going to do a deep dive on it. Just going through the book and be like, what the fuck is this? What other some weird... Yeah, no, if you ever have a weird idea or something strange, feel free to hit me up. I will never not accept it, probably, unless it's some, like, really degenerate shit. And even then, I'm... as said multiple times, I have no sense of right or wrong, and I have no morals. So, if you have the idea, I will make it. Especially if you decide to pay me for it. I know my friends have actually been, asking, like, hey, why don't you have a Patreon? Hey, why don't you have a Patreon? And I have been gleefully holding back on that because I don't really want to sell my soul that badly yet. But if I do go down the Patreon route, pretty much each tier is going to be a voting power. Like, hey, here's the list of my ideas. Your $1 tier, vote for what you want. You like this? Cool. You voted for it. Everyone's accepted it. Now we have it. Yeah, like $5 tier, your vote is worth 5. Like, so the games that you want are going to get made fast. Obviously, commissions, I'm not going to charge anyone for the commissions, except the person asking for it. So that's the kind of the thing there. It's kind of, it's just like, I know the second I make the jump from amateur asshole to person who charges you money for games that isn't like some weird fetish RPG, things change at a kind of a fundamental level. You get what I mean? But I don't quite know how I want to do that. I don't even know if I want to even pursue it, go down that route. Again, that's kind of a fairly large jump, and I don't even think I have the community size that... I don't have, like, an obsessive group. Like, oh my god, when's the next Notepad on game? Yeah, no, it's just, no, I don't really have anyone who's just, like, slobbering out the mouth waiting for the next Notepad add-on game. I think people are more like, oh, you're the guy who did that, or hey, wait, you're the guy who wrote fucking Witch Doctors and War Crimes, right? I'm like, well, sort of. Or hey, you wrote the Monster Girl game, right? Yes, I did write the Monster Girl game. Can you write me in my Monster M, please? She's my waifu. She is super powerful and she has all the abilities. And she's super cool, and she can shoot lasers from her eyes, and she has big boobs, and she's super big and super tall, and she beats up all my bullies. Like, no, Jesus fucking Christ, stop that right now, stop it. Honestly, if Breadman does show up and he's like, hey, I want the RPG, I know what I'm gonna make for him. I know it already. He's going to get the ultimate factory-based RPG ever. They know me too well. Wink. Yeah, no, it's weird because, like, the people who, like, actively kind of know who the fuck I am are in the Discords, and they know me for various reasons. I know you guys, the perverts, and I refer to you all as the perverts among other groups. I'm mostly, it's weird because honestly, the people here, the people in the Loot Game Finder probably know the most amount of my work. The guy in the Game Design Guild, GDG proper, I'd be a millionaire by now if I did that. The GDG, they kind of know me for just like little off-kilter games or any other random-ass question I ask, but I actually don't really talk about my games all that much among them, just because they're all like professionals and stuff, and I'm not. I shitpost. The TTRPG Design General, not Design General, the Discord, they're a bunch of weird, TBH, they're kind of weird. Not my Jammerino. Very odd amount of people there, but interesting people. Don't get me wrong, just odd. They don't really know any of my projects. The only one who knows is Stormforge Productions, but is actually just a really cool dude in general. No, they're the weird creative types who are just the. You guys are just perverts and weirdos, and I can get behind you guys. They're the kinds who are like, here's my new essay on why 2d6 is better than 3d6. It's 500 pages. I'm like, okay. I don't care necessarily about why your game design philosophy is better than mine. How do I do range bands right? Like, what other one? Like, see, I mean, I usually just refer to you all as the perverts, just because it's a good way of, good shorthand. Let's see, TG, anytime I do a appear in TG, I usually get one of three responses. Either, who the fuck are you? Why do I care? No, it's, who the fuck are you? Hey, shouldn't you be in the writing thread? Or, hey, aren't you the guy who did witch doctors and war crimes? I'm like, yes, yeah. I'm a dude who writes games. I am in both threads, and I did. I rewrote it, and then I give them the essay on what the fuck happened there. That's how I always introduce myself. I'm just a dude who writes games. See, the ultimate goal, as of right now, is I want some ultimate shit poster to commission a weird ass game for me. Even Breadman. If Breadman gets it, mad cred. I'm in. I'm in. I'm gonna make that bread RPG. It's gonna be great. That's where the money comes in. And unfortunately, I haven't been able to actually release the really weird RPG I wrote, my first commission project, because the fucker won't pay me, about, magical girls, and I don't want to release it right off the bat because he's just like, oh, well, I don't have to pay him anymore. Okay, do you want to hear something really sad? Okay, who's ready to feel really bad about Notepad? I know I am. Let's see it. Where was it? I know. I already wrote it. Now, fun story about Legacy of the Diamond Authority. Two things. One, I was in the SU thing for a while. I was fascinated by it. This was fairly early on, because I'm like, there's definitely something here. It's not good. This is based off a very old system that doesn't really work anymore. So if I were to do it again, I would probably, if someone paid me money to write an SURPG, I would do it. Easy, because I know how to do it. The big problem I was having with this is twofold. On one hand, it was the lack of lore in some cases. Because this was, when was this? Oh yeah, this was before we knew anything about White Diamond. We didn't know anything about Pink Diamond. We knew very little about Blue Diamond. Like, we knew very little. Like, this was like a whole new world. Like, there was so much lore potential. And then the entire Steven Universe thing blew up in my face, and I fucking hate it now. I haven't even finished it. I refuse to. Let's see. Probably my rates won't increase that much. Probably be it. If I blow up, probably be just $100 at most. But I have the ideas. It's there. Like, fusions were a pain in the fucking ass to do. Because the power of love. Aeon Flux. I know it. I never watched it. I remember. I've known the name. I'll have to. We'll see what I can do to find it. Also, hello, Burb. Welcome to. Notepad should have ended his stream a half hour ago, but he's still here talking about his weird games. Let's see. What other weird-ass games did I make? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I also did Paladins. You know Paladins? I know Paladins. Let's see. The Metro games. Oh, I remember this. My friend was big into Tokyo Ghoul. Like, he loved Tokyo Ghoul. And yeah, Tokyo Ghoul was kind of a weird one because I went hard. I had to go so much deeper into this fucking lore than I ever wanted to go into. Fuck this. Fuck this entire world. It's so fucking complicated. God, what other weird ones did I do? These are all my weird-ass ones. Yeah, Burb. Jeez. 1066. Jeez. It's like you want to do the Battle of Hastings. Oh, yeah, we also had Persona. This was from... I call it the Dead Project ER. This is all from, actually, a old game called Heroes, Valor, and Me. That was actually like my first. Yeah. This was like my first major RPG I actually ever wrote, and I spent so long on it. And when I started the SPRUG thing, the SPRUG sprung from the corpse of HVM, because with HVM, it's kind of the antithesis of what I do now. I was like, I'm going to make an RPG that does everything, so I can just play any game I want with my friends. And it turned out to be a lot more complicated than I thought. So I changed it. I fixed things up. I edited it so much that it stopped being what it was, and it kept going and going and going until I said, fuck it, and just killed it. It's done. I'm never going to touch it again. So, but a lot of these games that I have, a lot of the ideas that were previous, there were extenders, as I called them, of HVM. Let's see. Let's see some of the weird... You can also see, no. Have no fear, everyone. I have the best RPG. What RPG has inspired me the most? Sheerly the most. God, that's kind of a difficult one because I learned so much from RPGs. But I would, if you want me to be honest, the RPG that has inspired me the absolute most, it was my friend's dad's homebrew, which I can only truly describe as a D&D 2nd edition OSR 3.5 and a half BNX and a few other words in their Adventure Guild anime tier bullshit game. It inspired me a lot to just know kind of at a fundamental core that D&D isn't the only game available and people do make shit and really allow you to have fun with things. And from there I kind of experimented. I changed around a lot of things. I read so many goddamn books. The entirety of the old 40K series was a big one for me. By Fantasy Flight. I read those cover to cover. I actually don't like GURPS. I fucking despise GURPS. TBH, Famalam, Ding Dong. Not my first choice in any. Hey, the original Dark Heresy books. Those are some high class shit. Those are some good stuff. Because it's like, hey, take this. Like, hey, here's this system. And adapt it. There's a reason like 95% of these TG projects are like, let's use Dark Heresy first. Like, that's the first thing they propose. Let's adapt Dark Heresy. It's because it's just like, it's such a good, solid system that does so much random stuff very well. Made was also really inspirational because Made is a very bizarre game that can do anything you want it to, but it's also very specific. I love the Japanese RPG scene. Oh yeah, no, I've seen. I was lucky. I got a used copy for like $20. I had to give it away though, but let's see. Yeah, no, Darling in the Franxx. I was also in Darling in the Franxx. I really enjoyed Darling in the Franxx. Then the ending happened, and I did not like Darling in the Franxx anymore. I did enjoy some of the aspects of it, so that's hence why I wrote this. If I were to adapt this, I know how to adapt this going forward. Very odd, but I can do it. Never do the... Oh yeah, I did the Evangelion game. Not good, but it works. Yeah, Dead Project ER is where all my sad things go. Let's see. Yeah, you don't see this, by the way. Sorry, everyone. There we go. Nobody sees that. There's not a Cells at Work RPG. That would be kind of weird to pull up, but I know how to do it. Darling in the Franxx is Evangelion if Evangelion was too busy trying, instead of like having fairly subtle metaphors in some cases, it was just very blunt. I will say this. Darling in the Franxx is great up to about episode, I think it's 15. Everything after episode 15 is fucking trash garbage. But, because the show ends. Lamau, nerd. Let's see. Yeah, these are all the projects that I've worked on at one point. So let's actually zoom it all the way in. So we had the Darling in the Franxx game. Before Kill 6 Billion Demons came out, their RPG, I made my own. Because I'm like, I really like K6 Billion Demons, but I don't like PBTA, so I'm going to make my own. I still have an acute hatred of Kill 6 Billion Demons at this point because the story is going 5 million ways to Stupid Town. Lisa is one of those games I still want to fix entirely. Metro, I don't really need to do Metro anymore because all I have to do with that is write. It would be a pretty fun big old multiplayer game, but or even like one of those weird sim games like Sim Hospital or something like that. But let's see, Metro got folded into Where the Light Fades Softly. Necrotica, I've been debating on making my own Necrotica hack a second time, but just to make it simpler for people. But I think Necrotica is kind of perfect by the way it is. Paladins is bullshit, and I hate the lore there, but I'm also the only fucking asshole who decided to compile the entire thing. Yeah, no, it's pretty accurate. That's pretty accurate. That the last few pages, I'm like, like it's not even like, look everyone's white chain. Look everyone's white chain. I'm like, you could have handled this a billion times better, or you could have actually made an actual decent story going with it. But I lost everything with it. Like yeah, that was complete horseshit. Yeah, no, I was like, that's really stupid, White Chain. But like everything past when like Allison was like begging, like, don't kill me, please. I'm like, well, you have just destroyed every piece of character she's developed up to that point in like one fell swoop, and then everything going forward was like, I feel so fucking sad you existing. Let's see. Wakfu. Oh, God. Yes. Small, Smug David. Yeah, no, it's... See, I'm interested in every other character except the main cast at this point. Give me more Incubus. Like, that's what I'd say. That's all I care about. Like, give me Incubus. If he does that, I'm 10 out of 10. Like, I want to see more superpowers. I want to see people be stupid. I want royalty at its finest, but he's not giving it to me. He's too busy shitting the bed. And I think because people are, like, trying to get up on him for some reason. Let's see. Yeah, I love the side characters. Hell, give me the entire comic about the pursuers. I'm down. Give me that. I don't give a shit about Allison anymore. Like, all her character development, right down the toilet. It's that it just didn't everything she's been doing recently just isn't doing it for me. Let's wait a second. Tooth and Claw, that was a weird fucking setting I wrote. Oh yeah, it's like you get some cool stuff like that, but it's like I'm not in it at this point. Like the actual comic itself, I'm kind of my shit has not. I'm not giving a shit anymore. Why is everyone saying this is depression, the stream? Do I just sound that sad? I don't mean to. Let's... Oh, okay. Okay, everyone, let's... Here, let's shitpost on 4chan. Oh, look. Oh, wow. Look, everyone. The writing thread archived. Here. Let me shitpost it Bella real... here, give me 1 second. Writing thread is archived. Archived. See you in a few weeks. Writing thread is archived. See you in a few weeks. Yeah, there we go. Let's see what other weird shit I wrote. Oh, God, where was it? Oh, Gaia Phoenix was... That was a completely random one that I liked. Where were some other weird ones that I wrote? Valkyrie... Oh, where are you? Valkyrie Lullaby was actually based on... Hey, let our kid fucking die again? Oh, shame. 'Tis a shame! Let's see. Valkyrie Lullaby, that was actually from one of those random rolls. You know those roll charts that they get posted every now and again? Like, roll this, like you make a your own Cowboy Bebop game. I rolled Valkyrie Lullaby, and that was a fun little project. I might add that to my list of just to make a quirky little game. A little bit depressing, a little bit weird. Everyone going on their own deadly craze across the galaxy. Let's see. But yeah, no, welcome to all the shit I wrote. I wrote too much. But we don't worry about that anymore. Here's the project folders. Yeah, because I can, let's see what's on let's see what's on TG, everyone. Here's fucking Jump Chain again. Oh boy, everyone like Jump Chain? Everyone clap if you like Jump Chain. Really dumb. Everything is dumb. Let's see if people are still shitting on Ops and Tactics. Wow, this thread's still going. Let's all press F for our fucking sanity, I guess. Screw it. Let's close this. We've officially lost the trail of thought going on this stream, so screw it. Oh, God. Melon. What do people do in CYOA threads? I don't know anymore. I don't even know anymore. Oh, it's Kaiserreich thread. There's some really stupid shit going on in this thread. Wow, nothing of value has been lost. Let's take story thread. Wow, look everyone, nothing's here. Wow. Wowzers. It's almost like it's being bumped by a few people that don't really actually write anything. My God. Alright. So, I think I'm going to call it there. We shit posted. Let's go on Reddit, I guess. To the true cesspit of the internet. Yeah, exactly. Story thread, baby. Nothing of value is here. Guess we'll just leave it off on that. But, yep, it's... Story thread has its own issues. If you ever want to have me rant about story thread for a bit, you feel free to find me anytime I'm in the anytime I'm actually in the server. But thank you all. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. I'm going to head out and do something productive, otherwise known as probably hop in the VC and think about things. So, yeah.